If you don't know me, my name is Toussaint Gilbert and I run a social media marketing agency. If I were to sum up my story into one sentence, I would say that in December of 2020, I could not afford a PlayStation 5 when it had just came out for Christmas. Since then, I have scaled my agency, and last month we just hit $106,000 in a single month. We occasionally do numbers like $30,000 a week, $106,000 in a single month, as well as $15,000 in a single day before. I've since used this money to do all the cool stuff that you see online people talk about. I've bought my mom nice things, finally started taking care of my mom. I've even took the trips to Dubai before, the first class flights with my mom right next to me, and I've even drove the luxury cars as well. So in today's agenda, in today's video, we're going to go over a step-by-step guide of what exactly I did to make $106,000 in a single month. The only thing you should be focusing on to achieve the same success, how to add leverage to those tasks, and even the daily schedule that will lead you to the success that you've always wanted. I'm going to give my personal daily schedule that I use. And we're also going to talk about how to actually do those things that will make you successful, such as implementing those things into your actual business. Now, when I do say a step-by-step guide, I mean a step-by-step guide. We've got a little bit to talk about. So if you're wondering, what was it? How did I go from, not being able to afford a PlayStation in 2020 and now all of a sudden I'm making money? Well, it's all because of this funnel right here. And this is called the Leverage Consultant Funnel. And the reason why this works so well is you can think of any life scenario and any business situation, life as a whole, right, as gaps. You are where you are currently, and you always want to be somewhere else, right? Probably somewhere better. In between where you are right now and that better place, there's gaps in between. So this funnel takes care of all of the gaps in between. It gives you a leveraged offer, cold acquisition methods, organic acquisition systems and infrastructure, paid acquisition. So pretty much taking care of the entire attention problem, getting attention onto your offer, lead magnets, content assets, and conversion mechanisms. So what do you need to make money online? You need appointments, you need sales, and you need to deliver value. Simple. We often complicate things too much, right? You're focusing on a landing page, you're focusing on so much outside noise, right? You just need appointments, you need sales, and you need value. The absolute only thing that will make you money are these three things. So if you're focusing on anything else, you're lost. Now, I'm literally telling you this from experience because when I bought Agency Navigator 2 years ago, I spent 2 weeks taking note of everything in the course. And then after that, I spent another 2 weeks working on my landing page, optimizing my Facebook and Instagram profiles, and watching more YouTube videos to gain more information. So guess how much money I made when I did all of this? I did so much, right? I was so busy. I did so much work, but guess how much money I made? Not a single dollar. Was I busy? More than ever, right? But I wasn't working on the activities that bring me money. So this leads me to my next point: how to apply leverage to the most important tasks. The name of the game is leverage. Leverage is when you can get an outsized result for the amount of effort that you had to put in. In business, you want to focus on the most leveraged tasks. There are only 24 hours in a day, and we all have the same hours. It's not like someone else gets 26 or 22, right? The person who can use their time the best and get the output of 12 hours of work in exchange for 1 hour that they put in, this is the person that will ultimately win, right? Naval Ravikant said, fortunes require leverage. Now, the four pillars of leverage are capital, physical labor, code, and media. And like I said, the three things that give you the most leverage, the most bang for your buck in your business is appointments, sales, and delivering value, fulfillment, service delivery, right? So how do you incorporate leverage into each of these three tasks, these most important tasks, right? The most leveraged tasks. Now we're incorporating leverage into the most leverage tasks that we can focus on. Okay. So appointments, you have capital, physical labor, and media and code. So with capital, you're going to want to spend money to acquire the knowledge on the best way to get more attention and more appointments. Or you can also spend money on A-player talent to build your acquisition systems. With physical labor, it's going to be VAs to do your outreach, or VAs to manage inboxes, VAs to respond to these leads that are coming in, right? With media, you want to spend 1 hour a day or more making content. And with code, utilize paid ads. We have sales. With capital, you're going to spend money to acquire knowledge on how to improve your sales system. Or you can spend money to acquire the A-player talent, closers, sales managers, directors, right? To actually turn your team into A-player talent. With physical labor, this is hiring and selling, training a sales team. With media, you're going to create content to train your sales team. And with code, utilize softwares such as CRMs, right? And then with fulfillment, when you're utilizing capital, you're going to spend money to acquire the top level systems and infrastructure. With physical labor, it's going to be hiring the A-player talent that can create these systems and infrastructure for you to have a great service delivery, or the A-player talent that's going to run these systems you already have smoothly and operate it, make sure everything operates fine. With media, creating content to train your team on the back-end systems. And with code, utilizing software to automate tasks when possible. Now, next, let's talk about the daily schedule. Now, this is my personal daily schedule. I wake up at 5 and I'll spend my first 6 hours doing this. As a business owner, you're going to have a lot of shit on your plate. There's always so many things you want to do, right? If you take a look at my to-do list, everybody's to-do list looks just like this. You have so many things you need to get done. However, these things are the only things that you can genuinely focus on to actually move the needle 1% forward. If you just focus on your to-do list, you're going to be making the same amount of money 90 days from now as you are right now. But if you get 1% better by focusing on these things that actually move the needle forward, you're going to make more money, right? So here's what I focus on: 60 minutes per day working on my webinar funnel, training, VSL, or case study funnel, right? 60 minutes per day creating and improving lead magnets, 90 minutes per day creating content and newsletter, very important. 30 minutes per day creating and improving my ads or text copy, 60 minutes per day and creating and improving my service delivery, my products, very important. This is insanely leveraged. 60 minutes per day learning, either reading books, YouTube, or podcasts, right? So as you can see, all of these things fall within the three most important tasks: appointments, sales, and value. So it may not seem like a lot to spend 60 minutes per day or 30 minutes per day on something. Imagine how much this compounds after 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, right? All it takes is you just put this little effort in, you will get 1% better every day. By the month 2, month 3, you're going to be, your business, you yourself and your business are going to be unnoticeable. Okay. So do this, wake up early, get this done. Then for the rest of the day, you're going to take your calls, you're going to do whatever, put out fires, whatever you need to do. Right now, here's the gaps we're going to talk about on how to actually implement these systems and actually make your business work. Right. The first thing we're going to talk about is the offer. So we have a full leverage consultant offer creation framework. Next, we're going to talk about lead gen, a full step-by-step guide to acquiring clients on 2 different channels, and appointment flow, how to actually convert these leads that you get into appointments. So the same lead gen and appointment flow we're going to be going over is the one that books me 649 appointments per month. Next, we're going to be talking about turning appointments into actual $ cash. So let's talk about the offer. The reason I couldn't buy a PlayStation was because I didn't know how to make an offer. So when I tried pitching people with a regular offer, I got 1 client for every 100 people I pitched. Now, I personally don't know if this is because in the beginning I sucked at sales and my offer was bad. You know, that's 2 things you never want to mix. But most offers are genuinely just bad, and your clients have heard it all before and seen it all before. If you're pitching the same thing as everyone else, your prospects are going to treat you as a commodity and stall the sales process. So the thing is, our clients have multiple problems that need to be solved in order to get them from where they are to their dream scenario. Now, if we don't solve them, it's not like those problems just disappear, right? They're going to go find someone who will solve them. And this is simply just money that we could have made. So I solved more problems. Now, as you can see, this is what solving the full gap looks like. And how I went about doing that was using something called the Leverage Consultant Offer Creation Framework. Now, Leverage Consulting is about solving the full gap for your client and combining coaching and agency elements into your offer. Now, this makes it easier for prospects to say yes, allows you to charge higher ticket, and get better results all at the same time. Now, in its simplest form, coaching and the consulting model, that's just the exchange of information for money. Now, you can deliver this information in many different forms, such as protocols, SOPs, content, and frameworks. In the simplest form, the agency model, we're all very familiar with this model, is just the exchange of services and actual labor for money. This is where you're actually implementing things for your clients on a done-for-you basis, such as systems and infrastructure, right? A few examples with that would be growth campaigns, paid ads, appointment setters, and content distribution. Now, what the leverage consultant offer does, besides giving you a unique mechanism for your target market, is it decommoditizes your offer and presents your business as the full solution from where your prospect is and where they want to go. This signals that you are different than the market and interrupts the pattern that they typically have in their head when getting on a sales call with you. Now, ultimately, this is going to get them away from thinking, who is this guy and what is he trying to sell me, to actually looking at your value proposition. Okay. Next, let's talk about you have a great offer. Now let's talk about how to get attention onto that offer. Now, you only need one attention source acquisition channel to hit 10, 15K per month. But ultimately, you want to use all three ways of acquiring clients. Here is why. If someone clicks on your ad and then consumes your content, the sale is much easier. Or if someone opens your email and they finally book a call, before getting on that call, they actually search you up and find your content, that sale is much easier. You just turned a cold email lead, which is only very hard to close. You're only going to close 15 to 20% of these, into a warm, probably organic lead, honestly. And if you didn't have these things, the likelihood of the sale is much, much lower. However, to get to 10, 20K, honestly, 10, 15K per month, all you need is one channel. You install all of them, though, you build a 7-figure business. Now let's talk about how to install cold outreach. So note, you can only send 50 emails per day per domain. So keep this in mind when deciding how many you want to purchase. The first thing you're going to want to do is go to GoDaddy.com. Second thing is buy at least 35 cold emails. Make sure they're all separate domains. So what that means is they should be similar to your main site, but not your main site. So if my main site is acquisitionlogics.com, you're going to purchase domains that say tryacquisitionlogics.com, buy acquisitionlogics.com, and get acquisitionlogics.com, right? Next, buy one email address for each domain. It's going to look like this: Toussaint at trygetacquisitionlogics.com, right? Then add the following DNS records to each domain. You're going to want to add SPF, DMARC, and DKIM. Next, upload each of these cold emails to instantly.ai and begin the warm-up process. Next, you're going to want to build a list of your niche inside of apollo.io. Then export this list you just made using exportapollo.io. Verify all the leads you just got using millionverifier.com. Upload all the leads to instantly.ai after they're done warming. This is going to take 2 to 4 weeks. Write a cold email script with your main goal being to send them a loom, not book a call. 13, start sending your mass amount of cold emails per day. And depending on your volume, you should aim for 3 leads per day. If you bought about 35 cold emails per day, you're going to get 3 to 4 leads per day. Get them on a call. Out of all the people you get on a call, you should have a 20% closing rate. This is good for outbound. For every 5 calls, you should be closing at least one person. Then understand your numbers and decide exactly how many leads do you want per day, how many calls do you want per day, and how many clients do you want to get per month. And then simply just scale the amount of emails you are sending per day. Next, we're going to talk about paid ads. Note, this is my favorite out of all methods. Now, you can use the value strategy or direct response. We're going to go over direct response right now. So the reason paid ads is my favorite is simply because you can spend $1 and get 10 back. I just love how straightforward the return is. Your ROAS will always depend on your sales skills, so keep this in mind. The first thing you want to do is test 4 variations of your messaging angles on the actual ad creative. The 4 ones you're going to want to test is your offer, the amount of appointments you can get somebody, the amount of sales you can get somebody, and your fulfillment process. Next, put the qualifying questions on the instant form. Facebook does give you bot leads, so you're going to want to put qualifying questions just to make sure every single lead that comes in is qualified and is actually, 1, not a bot, and 2, fits the criteria that you need to have a good lead. Next, have an opt-in form, send the auto response message, give them the option to book directly into your calendar, send them an email and SMS with free resources, nurture and educate these leads with content assets. I'll be going over that right here. And then book a warm appointment, enter your pre-call flow, close 30 to 40% of sales calls, understand your numbers, and simply scale from there. Now we're going to go over actually converting this attention you just got. So you have your attention source, which is basically your acquisition channels, wherever that lead just came from. You'll then have your method of collecting data, such as their name, email, number, any optional data, such as how much are you making per month, right? Then add them to your newsletter just for further nurture over time if they don't convert right away. However, your setter is going to manually reach out to these leads using your Go High Level CRM. However, your setter is not going to immediately try and book an appointment. No, instead, your setter is going to ask for feedback on the free resources, lead magnet, or whatever it was that brought the lead in. From there, your setter is going to utilize your content assets. Now, This is where the game gets fun because you create content assets, and now any lead that you have that is getting nurtured over time, you're going to begin turning these leads, these cold leads, these neutral leads into actual warm leads that have been nurtured and educated by you. So what content assets do is optimize your sales process, leading to an extremely high conversion, as well as aid in your audience growth, because you can also post these content assets to your actual organic platforms. From there, you're going to have increased value perception. It's going to quicken your sales process. You'll now have authority with everyone that you speak to. You'll be building trust and a unique brand as well. The whole goal of this is to turn your business into a flywheel of distributing content, which gets you awareness, which builds you trust. Trust then gives you influence. From there, once someone's influenced by you, it's very easy for them to become a client. From there, it does not stop there. You're going to turn this actual client into an asset and pump this back into your front end marketing, whether it's your organic, your paid ads. You're going to use this client as marketing. You're going to leverage the case study or the client result you got from them, and it's going to make this whole process much smoother. You can even turn this client into a content asset that you're using to nurture your leads. So what this is going to do, instead of you asking and hawking people down for an appointment, they're actually going to wonder, hey, I'm interested in what you're doing. I've saw your content. Intrigue is built, trust is built, and authority is present. It actually puts you in the teacher position. If we think back to school, who had all the authority in school? It was teacher. I have a question. How does this work? From there, your prospect is going to book a high intent call. They're going to be a warm lead. Now let's talk about, once they're actually on this call, how do we ensure that we can actually make the most bang for our buck and close this lead? So I had an extreme problem with sales. I sucked at sales. My sales process looked something like this. I would build rapport, ask them, what have you done? What's your goal? Maybe some consequence questions. I would then present my pitch deck and then pitch the price. And here's what I changed and what you should be doing as well. So the main thing you want to figure out is their intention. With this, you're going to be able to use it as ammunition to close the deal at the end of the sales call. So in your discovery, build a little rapport, explain how the call will go, set the frame just a little bit, ask them why they're on the phone with you, why they took the time out of their day, why the problem is important, and what they've tried in the past. So this mini discovery will allow you to get to the actual deeper questions, such as, why do you want to scale? What would change about your business if you actually started making things work? How would that affect you perhaps personally? What can you do? What can you not do now that you would be able to do as a result of this change? And would this change affect anyone else besides yourself, any family members, etc.? So as you notice, it's a lot of open-ended why, how, what questions, right? This makes it easier to actually connect with the prospect and get them to open up. Because if we can understand why someone is there on the phone with us, it's going to be much easier to get them to agree to letting you be the one to get them to their goal. All right, so that's all we've got for this video. If you want a full 58-page doc and a Lucidchart breaking down how I personally step-by-step scale to 106K per month, then check the first link in the description.